Hello everybody and welcome back to the Little King story playthrough. It is time to take on the Tiptoe Kingdom at the top of Mount Sobermanjaro. And it's gonna be glorious!
Yes, sir.
Hopefully we're not gonna lose anybody today and, oh, thank you for donating. Oh, just had a genius with an IQ of 300! Jesus, wet man. We've got a smart cookie there. And oh, we've got stuff to get. Oh, another school donation. Why, don't mind if I do. It's a bit expensive if you ask me. Considering, you know, what we've just donated, and we're even further away from getting our ultra lovely rare armour. But as I said at the end of the last part, we're taking on a king today, so we are going to be absolutely loaded. It's the morning of day 68. And there's a ridiculous amount of flowers in the kingdom. Like, really. Lots. And I'd say it does look super lovely. It sounds like these where you're just like, love being a part of such a lovely little kingdom when it looks so pretty and homely and cosy like this. Now, what the Flower Apprentice from what we got at the end of the last part, which has now been instigated, they allow you, well, obviously they flower up all of the kingdom, and if you speak to them in your castle, they will allow you to change the colour of all of those flowers. So you can basically customise your kingdom to your own personal tastes, which is lovely. And for some reason, I have a carefree adult on the beach. Picked them up, obviously, because I'm not going to leave them there. I don't know whether they've come in to replace poor Andrew, but oh well. And also, oh, you've got a letter for me, eh, little buddy rabbit? So it's from Uncle Tin, and it's been added to our suggestion box. I think we'll have to have a look at that at some point, because I feel it's going to be a rather fun but potentially annoying quest. Now, obviously, before we go and take on the Tiptoe Kingdom, we need to make sure that we have the optimum team, because we are going to need a pretty specific set. Because while we definitely do need our hardened soldiers, mostly to take a lot of weight, well, a lot of the damage and to just be human shields, we need a nice variety of other job classes. Primarily, we want some miners, we want Giga Carpenters, we want farmers, we want a lumberjack, and we want a gourmet cook for definite. Because there are certain bits of the fight that we're going to go into that specifically require these jobs, so if you don't have them on your team, you are monumentally screwed. So we've definitely got enough gourmet cooks. I think we've got enough of almost everything else. Probably just need to bring along... Yeah, bring along Mike. Probably help. Have another farmer in the mix, just in case we've got to do any more. Don't really know what to pad the rest of this out with, to be fair. And as you can see, I'm just going through the thought process of who exactly do I want. In the end, yes, we'll bring along our other two miners, because they will be very helpful. And then I think we are going to find some lovely carefree adults who have a reasonable amount of health. And I believe we're going to turn them into lumberjacks and various other positions, shall we say. Because kinda need them to... I need to get a nice specific number. Also, I want them to have as much health as is humanly possible, so that this just works better for us. I don't think we need our merchant at all, so Fran's just going to have a nice lovely holiday today. So yeah, it's just a case of making sure that we have the right team for the job, because this is a challenge that requires a very specific set of citizens. And I think we can just pan out the rest with, yeah, an extra hardened soldier, maybe an extra hunter. And I think that'll just about do us. Got a lovely team of 30. Should probably give them stuff, because we've got loads of equipment, so we can certainly give them a little bit more oomph behind it, or behind them. Just anything to make us stand as good a chance as possible, because on a technical level this is not the most challenging of kings, but he can be quite challenging, and I will admit that he is one of the kings that I died the most on, for reasons that I will explain when we actually get to him in about 10 minutes time or so. We're really not that far away from him at all, actually, because the Tiptoe Kingdom is tiny. Like, you saw the little area just at the end of the last part, just sitting there, and that is the extent of the Tiptoe Kingdom. So it's a bit like, okay. First off, gonna save. Let's have a look, and that's not surprising after what happened. I'd be pissed off with me as well, to be fair. And we are changing recording sessions. Might have been the same day, because what I have tended to do with my recording sessions is just split them into a few chunks, just because of, in the transition from recorded footage into format that I can actually use to edit, if any of the videos end up going over an hour long, what can happen is that when I import them into Sony Vegas, the audio messes up a bit. So the wave thingy at the bottom, the wave of the audio at the bottom looks fine, but when you listen to it, you get audio from like the start of the video. So what my method of avoiding that has ended up being is trying to not record in huge chunks, or trying to do an hour session, have a little break while that changes format. It's exported from my Elgato game capture software, and then start the next one almost immediately afterwards. Never leave the game on the TV screen, it's just it just stays there. I just go back to the home menu just so that it's all nice and relatively neat, and then just get on with it, really. So yeah, that's why you've had a few of those. No, I'm not going to continue the game, but I'm definitely going to continue the game. Now, what I'm doing at the minute is I am trying desperately to get one of the items, well, the treasures that the merchants are holding on to, because what they, if you speak to your merchants regularly, they, on the off chance, will give you a treasure, and those treasures will actually be quite useful to you, because they will, well, obviously they're treasures, so they will do you good. And I don't know quite where I'm going or what I'm doing. I'm very confused by my path here. You see, I'm gonna go get Giga Carpenters, that's what I'm doing. Because I landed in the wrong bloody place. How embarrassing. And also, I know this is taking me further and further away from getting lovely rare armour. But... right. That is our team. We should, by all rights, be good to go. So let's go to the bottom of Sobermanjaro. Or Sobermanjaro. Whatever. So, guys, seriously? Not difficult. Not difficult in the slightest. So, here we go. We're going to get another letter from Poncho, as you would expect at this point, which is going to be from the king of this kingdom, who is called Aunt Poco. How rude! This is King Long Sauvage, and yeah, he's a nut job. He's a massive nut job. And these are Mounties. These are the citizens of the Tiptoe Kingdom. They like to be tall. They don't like people being small, essentially. And that's pretty much all they talk about, is being tall and being awesome. Now, you may recognise this tune ever so slightly. I mean, it's Gustav Mahler's Symphony No. 1 in D major, Titan 3rd movement, but part of the song is actually used in a very classic French nursery rhyme, so to speak, or French song, which is Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, ding dang dong, ding dang dong. It's not quite exact, but it is essentially Frère Jacques, which is lovely, because it's a nice little tune. I like a bit of Frère Jacques. And I like that we then get this lovely sort of acoustic guitar riff going on. It's great. But as I said, there's not really a whole lot to do in the Tiptoe Kingdom. All you need to do is speak to the hiker registration, and we begin the boss fight. Yeah, it's that quick into the boss fight. It's insane. But hell yes, we're hikers.
Dat er Horst zijn na afloop de Nederlander hadden eindbod nieuwe Nederlanders toebereid. Dat er Horst zijn na afloop de Nederlander hadden 4 politie niet te verwachten, zei ze. Dat er Horst zijn na afloop de Nederlander hadden 4 politie niet te verwachten.
I think you might need to rethink your... how should I put it? Rethink the way you deal with your customers, eh? Tall is great, great is tall. Who's taller? Us! We may be tiny, we may be a little king, but we are amazing, and we are going to defeat you, Long Sauvage!
Я хорошо заложил за галс и был пьян. Но признаться, как 40 меня обдало. Тишина стала как только железные листья сокрушали мыши и потреск. Старинное оружие. Что-то адское. Сорвалось марумом, прибавляя ум из кружилась по всему пусту. Ронгл Савар! А волочились Савар!
And here we go. The fight against King Long Sauvage is not really a fight at all. It is in fact a race to the finish, in so many words. Essentially what happens is you've got these... well, you've got a time limit, obviously, you may have noticed. You have these barricades. After a certain time limit, pretty much what you've got in that top right corner, those barricades will close. If you are not through those barricades by the time that happens, then it's game over. You will lose the fight. Also, any citizens that get left behind those barricades will not be able to continue on with you. So it's very important that you move quickly and efficiently and make sure that you keep all of your soldiers with you at all times. Otherwise it can be a little bit of a disaster. Now, I love the song during this fight. It's Gustav Holst's #1, Mars the Bringer of War, from The Planets, which is obviously a very excellent and very famous piece of classical music. And it's so epic, and I really like the concept of this fight. It's awesome. I really love the fact that it's, you know, a massive climb up, and it's very stressful actually, because you're just like, there's all this stuff going on, I need to get through, You've got the soundtrack, which is just epic, and just generally everything is awesome. The thing that does annoy me though is that you have the horrifying sound of the barricades just constantly beeping at you throughout the entire thing. You're just like, for God's sake, shut up, because it's just going bow, 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 bow. It's irritating, as are King Long Sauvage's cries of Sauvage! I just want to be able to focus on the amazing soundtrack, and I'm not able to. Now this bit's a little bit of a pain because you've got swinging bits of beard, you've got falling rocks. Obviously if you get hit by any of those, then that's going to cause you damage, and that's a massive pain. Thankfully you can get everyone into these and nobody will get hurt, but it's all a case of mastering your timing at this point. It'll probably take you more than a few tries to get through, but you should be okay. Rather irritatingly, then you also have this section where you've got a Mountie over there, but you've got loads of pots getting in the way, you have all these evil owls trying to attack you. There's a lot going on in this fight, and I would say do not feel ashamed if you die at least once during your fight, because it can be a challenge, and it's even more of a challenge when you get to the bit that's just coming up, really, because it's the bit that's coming up that will decide whether your fight against King Long Sauvage goes well, or whether it's going to fall flat on its face almost immediately. Also, the amount of times that I accidentally got hit by those bloody birds, bloody owls, just like appearing from nowhere, being a massive pain. Oh, it was annoying. This is important. Left, right, right. Left, right, left. Follow these directions to the letter. If you do not, you'll be flung right back out at the entrance there, and there is not enough time to make a mistake. if you make a mistake, you have pretty much lost this fight. Because even though the things that you destroy won't come back, if you're going the wrong way, then that's time that you've wasted that you really didn't need to be wasting. And also, it takes so long to walk all the way back through that it's just impossible otherwise. Thankfully, your citizens do come with you whenever you get through to the next section, so that's nice. Also, notice how there are arrows. Don't believe the arrows, believe the sign outside, otherwise it's not pretty. And this section is why I heavily recommended bringing miners, lumberjacks, gourmet cooks, because in here you will find logs, you will find rockies, you'll find cockadoodle-doos, so you need to give yourself the best possible chance of making it through here. And if you can make it through on your first go, through this tunnel, then you're pretty much a shoo-in for victory, because there's very little of the level left after this. But it's just that this is quite a hefty bit of the boss fight. Now, obviously we've been going on this whole 7 deadly sins thing with our kings. Now, despite the fact that you may think that King Long Sauvage is arrogance and or pride, he actually comes under lust, because obviously he's lustful of wanting to be the tallest, wanting to be the best. He lusts after greatness and height, and he will do anything in his power to achieve that. But potentially the reason why he did end up symbolising lust is because in Dante's Divine Comedy, love it, in Purgatorio, aka Purgatory, which is, it's Mount Purgatorio, so it's a mountain that you've got all these different cornices on, and as you go up the mountain you get people who are atoning for the sins that they've committed. So they're not trapped in hell forever, as all the people in Inferno are, but they have done things, well, so they're worthy of heaven, but they need to atone for their sins first before that can happen. And people who are lustful are at the top of the mountain, so they are nearly there, but they've got to overcome their lust, essentially, before they are allowed to enter heaven. And we made it out! Oh, thank God for that! Now, this bit's interesting. So the reason that I very much wanted to build that hot spring was because I just wanted to make sure everyone was fully healed before taking on this last stretch, because it can either go quite well or quite badly. So I wanted everyone to be in tip-top condition. Although, almost immediately, kind of lost that tip-top condition because massive ball of hair yarn just colliding with us. Now, this pathway is very small, and there are things which are like the electric wisps. Obviously, you're best off using evade mode to get round here, but it's very possible that your citizens will be knocked off in some form, like a load of mine just have been there. Annoyingly, that included 2 of my Giga Carpenters. What's really annoying is that if you have no carpenters with you at this point, it is impossible to finish the fight. Absolutely impossible. There is no way to do it. You need to build this bridge. Which is kind of cruel, I suppose, in a way, but the game does at least forewarn you that you're going to need these people to help out. I would have preferred to have had all of my lovely Giga Carpenter's working on this bridge, it would make it, well, get it done a hell of a lot quicker. But thankfully, there is more than enough time to be able to, for him to just be able to build it himself. Also, the reason I attacked that mountain was because I wanted to make sure he was in my UMA logbook. And now, let's just get past the final checkpoint, and there is King Long Sauvage. Prepare to meet your maker, mate.
Осторожно! Дорогой, в глазах Даши твой припатрив грудки.
Газа. Творилось что-то адское.
So that was a very easy defeat once we actually got to him. He's also completely insane and was a fraud. So I think we totally deserve victory here. And we've saved another princess who awaits us in here, hey?
Nous sommes sur les droits cantonistes en zine. Volet, fait trop femme. Pour la file, j'ai mis dans ce feu. Mon zine, la belle chapeau en plaintise. J'ai mal, ça pour la. Diolis. Belle et base, cantoniste. Zine.
So, we have rescued Princess Fern! And she's got quite a figure, hasn't she? I remember seeing Princess Fern for the first time, just going like, Jesus wept, what kind of game am I playing? I thought I'd figured it out by this point in the game. No, definitely not, and we can get the rare armour! We can get the rare armour! Oh, that makes me so happy. So ridiculously happy. We're not actually going to be doing much with it until towards the end of the game, but it's still an absolute joy to be able to finally have enough money to purchase it. And that just makes me so happy. But obviously it's time for more celebrations. And this is why this part is as long as it is, because we're not going to do that much exploring afterwards, so it would have been a stupidly short part if I didn't just lob it onto the end of this. So, 35's dealable. Anything more than that, it's a bit too much. And duh! That was a bad earthquake.
Difficult to leave cooldown to run. Difficult to leave cooldown to run.
Guys, I don't know why you aren't super worried about these earthquakes, because, like, they could bring houses down. They really could. They could sink islands, I suspect.
Con la noche que se para limpar y de para limpar de 5 aves y las con un estrecho.
I wanna help you, Skinny Ray. I really do.
Difficult to leave cooldown to run. Difficult to leave cooldown to run.
Con un estrecho de latinador no choclas esperaban comisionar.
Difficult to leave cooldown.
I vote in favour because I do want to help you, mate. But more funds. kinda have other things that kinda need to be spent, money to be spent on them first. I.e. rare armour, which is obviously a very important thing, more so important than saving the world. But, I'm sorry, Skinny Ray. I'm not being stingy. I wanna help. Oh well. It's time to go out and celebrate at the festival. This is our flower pointy. Haven't always spoken to him yet. So Hanataro is going to change the colours. So we can make them red, we can make it blue, we can make them white, we can mix it up a bit. Or we can make it prismatic. And I thought, well, let's go with prismatic, because I'm sure that's going to look insanely beautiful. And oh, I like that. Lovely rainbow coloured flowers everywhere. And perfect that it's happened on day 69. But yes, it's the Eruption Festival. And I love the fact that we've got someone made a volcano to shove on the platform. It's great. Oh, shut up about God, Campbell. But yes, we only have one more king to defeat. One more king. It's going to be amazing. Also, as that lovely hardened soldier just said, there is now an observatory at the top of Mount Sauvage, which could prove quite useful to us, actually. We will have to do a little bit of have a gander up there at some point. Obviously, we'll have to pop back up to the top anyway, because there will be a wonder spot. And I mean, there are various other reasons why we will have to pop back to Sauvage. But yes, it's all good right now. I'm feeling a lot more positive today than I did when we, you know, sadly lost Andrew earlier. Because that broke my heart. But you see, he did not die in vain. We've taken on another king and we won. How do you measure love? Well, here's the thing, Fred. If you were saying, how do you measure a year in the life, I'd be able to say, well, how about love? But you didn't, so I can't. Damn you for stopping me from making a Rent reference. Boo. Let's have a... Okay, we'll have a snog with you as well, Spumoni. Why not, after all? We have 38... Oh, only 2 types. Jesus wept. It's going to be a while, I think, still, and only 4 left in terms of that. We currently have 0 tunes. Yay. Okay. How many do you think we've got left, Duck? Only 9. That's still a bit much. It's not Alpha Mishizuka. I wanted a figure. But I'm pretty sure we are close, shall we say. I mean, obviously, if we have a look in our key item book, we can see Naffle there, obviously. We have got... Oh, we've only got 2 animals left to collect. So that's good. One annoying piece of food, which we're... Well, 2 annoying pieces of food. So we've got another type of worker owning. Yeah, I know what that is. Some of these are going... Well, quite a few of these, actually, are going to turn up when we enter the final kingdom. Same with all of those wonder spots. So we are gonna... We've got a nice little bit of wrapping up to do in the very near future. But for now, we've defeated King Long Sauvage. We've had our festival and our party. I think it's time to end it all and head off to bed. Don't you?
Difficult cooldown to rise. Easy.